Hi. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about the 10 easy steps you can do to start your own mastermind. And it's actually not as hard as you might think. And I want to help you on your first mastermind as much as I can. So step one is basically have a clear goal. Be crystal clear about what you really want to achieve when you want to start a mastermind. It needs to be like a burning desire. So if it's not something that's really going to be a burning desire, something you really, really want, guess what? You're not going to stick to it. So that's the first thing you got to put in mind. Is it something that you really are burning for and want to make a change in? Okay, so we call it to have a strong why. Okay. All right. If you know already now that you'd like to know a little bit more about this, there's a link for you right in the description that you can click on. So go there right now. If not, continue watching and I'll teach you more. Step number 2 is basically find a friend that you like and respect. It can't be a personal friend, so it's going to be a little contradictory with what I first said. I would say friend, acquaintance from maybe a business setting. So it doesn't have to be from a business setting, or that you may meet in a meeting setting for a group, organization, or what have you. And pick the world is your oyster, so to speak. Pick whatever subject you are interested in that have a burning desire, and find one friend that you can collaborate with, you look up to, you respect their opinion, you feel that they are a giver and a helper, just as much as you hopefully are as well. So that's number 2, very, very important. And you start your group with one friend like that. And then step number 3, you decide on a topic. Obviously, you might have already thought of a topic that you have a burning desire for already. So, and you can say to that person, what's your burning topic? And then you can have many people with many different topics. Or you can be focused like I was with one of my mastermind groups. We're all Amazon sellers. You don't have to be that. It could be different. So that's one way to do that. So that's step number 3, decide on a topic or how you're going to focus as a group. So step number 4, you cannot be in competition with each other. I've just learned over the years that if you compete with somebody, people will hold back information and not share freely. And I don't want to get into too many examples, but that's exactly what we do with our Amazon business too. The other people in our group don't know about what we're selling. So that's exactly what I suggest you do as well. And then step number 5 is decide on a format in which you want to conduct the meetings. So for how long the meeting should be, how you meet, meaning online or in person, and you go from there. And that's something that you all need to agree on. I tend to like online meetings. Obviously, it's better to meet in person, but the online meetings are by video so that you can see somebody. That makes a big difference. Step number 6 is now, okay, so I kind of jumped here a little bit. So the 2 of you, when you're going to grow your group, you would then together select the 3rd person, and you move on like that, meaning, so now when you've selected the 3rd person, the 3 of you select the 4th person. So you all are part of that growing of the group. That's very important, because you then, I will go into more details about that in my course and everything, but you can establish more ground rules as to what you want to look for in that next person and the next person and the next person, until you are like 5 to 6 people max. In my book, that's the best way to go about it. So step number 3, you decide on certain ground rules. How are you going to run the group? How strict are you going to be with the meeting times, attendance, and also ground rules like confidentiality. Those things are super important. So you want to look at those and be very mindful so that everyone are clear about that. And if people are not showing up for the meetings, what are the consequences? So there should be some, because otherwise you'll have a group where people come and go, and then they haven't been to the last meeting. They don't remember what was said. They can't contribute to those people that were struggling with things. So the list goes on. Don't want to get into it. Hopefully you understand what I mean. Okay. And there's a whole other list of facets to that makes a group stick. And that's, I guess, what my big course is all about. Okay. So step number 8 is that you need to have a timekeeper and somebody that's possibly also records the meetings. We have that in our group. And usually it's the one that starts the group that ends up being the timekeeper in the beginning. Doesn't mean that person has to be that all the time. You can delegate those things. And recording the meetings, we record everything in audio, and we also transcribe it. We have obviously a software that transcribes it for free for us. So that's very, very useful, because sometimes you are given advice on the calls and you want to make sure you can play it back again to really hear what was said and take detailed notes, because things are happening fast. Okay, they're intense and they're very valuable, the feedback you get. So step number 9 is kind of part of what I mentioned earlier about the ground rules, confidentiality. I'm mentioning it again because it needs to be respected. If it's not respected, people are ousted. It's as simple as that. And if you're going to share something, you need to ask the group and or the person that shared it if it's okay to share. So those things are extremely important, that it keeps the group alive. And then I have step number 10 is like some helpful tips. Where to find potential members. Think about the online groups you're in. I have found many of my members in live meetings, seminars, webinars that I've been on, and also in-person meetings. I actually prefer in-person meetings, but you can think about it this way. Now the world is your oyster. Wouldn't it be great to have a person from China, from Germany, from Scandinavia, from the US, from France, from Spain, Latin America, Mexico, in your group to get different perspectives in different parts of the world, depending on what kind of business you're dealing with. And what kind of criteria should you look for in the potential members? There's a whole list of that. I mentioned some of them: likable, helpful, kind, not dominating, and all of these things are important qualities. Okay. And how do you decide on a new member? If one member comes out, as a group you do. And one trick to use there is that you can invite somebody in to be a guest for one call or two calls, and then you see how they gel and all of that. So that's another trick to do that. What you as a leader can do and should do to make the mastermind group stick: a lot of things you can do. Keeping things fresh, and make sure that you hold people accountable, and a lot of little tips and tricks around that. And also important to share goals with each other so that you know what other people are working on, and ideally that should be written out and be measurable and time specific, and you should have that in probably a Google Doc. You should also share personal information about yourself so they kind of know what kind of person you're out. Do you love dogs, for example? Are you into sports? Is health important? In terms of relationship, we talk about that as well. All these things are important to create the bonding and the relationship with everyone. So anyway, for those that want to know more about my course and my mastermind course, where I go in much more details and I help people move to the next level, and we really cement the grounding rules that you need to follow to create a successful mastermind. Just to give an idea, I've been in mastermind for over 25 plus years. Some of them started back in 2004 and still alive today, 2022. The Amazon group has been going on for 10 years, meet every week for one day at a time for an hour and a half. And so those are the kind of things you want to know if you want to make sure that you become really successful in mastermind, because in my book, it is the number one thing I'm taking with me from living in the United States a little over 30 years. It is that powerful, and you shouldn't take it lightly. Remember that the 5 people that you spend the most time around is also what you become the average of. That's a quote from, not a quote per se, but that's what Jim Rohn said. He said it in a different way. So, and by the way, if you want to set up a direct little quick call with me, there's a link below where you can click. I forgot to say that earlier. And you can hit me up on any questions, and we can set up a call to see if this is something for you. All right. See you on the other side. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.